Hey everybody, I love trees. I mean pizza, so who doesn't like trees? I mean, how can anybody not like trees? Fish grow like trees. Bugs grow too, just like everything else. Bugs grow. Goats grow. He's pretty. Everything that grows is made up of parts that also grow. Even your blood cells grow that come together to make organs that come together to make the eagle there that group up together into larger organisms that come together to make planets, solar systems, galaxies, outward as far as we can measure. So each of these parts has an invisible field around it. You can see that both the field and all the energy and information inside the field are collapsing towards the center or the heart of the field. If you look closely, you can see at the top and bottom of the field there's two swirling vortices that kind of push towards the center. They mimic the hourglass shape of the tree on the right if you look at it. If you were to imagine the leaves and the roots on both sides that are collapsing towards the center, it's all the information collapsing towards the center of the field. I'm going to interject here. It's still pizza time, but the field's awareness is the total amount and type of information in the field. Huh. Sounds right. So let's go back and look at the tree and compare it to the body so we can see how they both work. All the information from both sides comes together at the base or the center of the tree, just like all the information in your body runs to the center. If you look at the field in the upper left there, you can see that it actually collapses towards the heart and not towards the brain, like modern science has said. Well, until recently, they thought that all of your information used to go straight to your brain, but it actually doesn't. The heart and the brain talks to each other continually. We're not going to focus on the brain too much because the brain is less important to the body. If you take the heart out of the body dies. But if you take the brain out, you can leave the body working for a long time. People have done studies where they've taken the heart out of the body and the heart will continue to beat outside the body for a short time in a petri dish. So the heart is the most important organ in your body. So I saw this thing in the garage the other day. Remember when I was a kid growing up, I was sitting on the couch watching TV, and I had one of these things crawling on my arm once. I just about myself. I think I jumped up and flicked it, and it just went flying across the room. But if you look at it, it's kind of showing you that it's warning you that it's going to shut down your communication system. It looks just like the tornadoes inside the field there. So let's go talk about what controls the tree. The tree is a conduit of information from the sun's energy to the earth's energy. Just like you're a conduit, you're just moving a lot more of it. The tree is also controlled by what it's connected to. For instance, if you remove the sunlight, the tree goes away, or if you remove the soil, the tree goes away. But most importantly, the heart provides and nourishes for both sides of the tree. If you look at the way it's designed, information comes from both sides and it meets in the middle. And in order for it to grow correctly, it has to move information back and nourish the plant from the center out. This is an important point because the heart has to listen first to the whole plant to understand where it needs to grow. If we look at your body, the same thing happens to you. If any part of your body needs more blood flow to any of the organs or fingers, toes, whatever, then the heart provides and nourishes. But your heart has to listen to inputs from your whole body first if you're going to be healthy. Everything works this way. The awareness or any part of the whole or the amount and type of information that runs through the field surrounding it is controlled by what it is connected to. And the center gathers all that information so it can nourish the whole organism. All these fields connect to create larger fields, which connect to create larger fields to infinity as far as we can tell. They keep stacking up more and more things. And as far as we can look, it looks like the same toroidal field that's just centered around each other. Man, I can't get this slide to work. No matter what I do, I set the timings right. Oh, there one goes. Anyway, this is kind of a picture. Oh, and they're all going to show up now. What's going to happen? Let's wait. Anyway, so this is supposed to be a picture of the way an organism works in a company. You got product on one side, consumer on the other. The example is that if you take away either one, then it falls apart. And then everybody ends up like this on the inside. Well, that's how most companies do, because people don't see themselves as part of a larger company. So all these little circles that I had flying from the bottom left, they just show you that it's just a separate organism, and you view yourself as a separate organism, so it doesn't work right. And so all the information network breaks down, and then it just doesn't work as well. If everybody was working together as a normal organism, then it would function correctly. If you look on the right, control comes from the outside, and then from the center, service, and the center listens to the outside coming in. Anyway, that's that story. I got it to work. One side worked, and then they all plopped in. I don't understand. I am not a professional at slideshows. So I found this flowchart online of the way our government is put together. And it's interesting too, because it's got the Constitution at the top, and then it branches down to the executive branch, legislative branch, judicial branch. And so it's trying to say the Constitution is controlling all that stuff, when actually control comes from the base up from people. So this is a flowchart that's trying to tell you that control comes from the top down, basically, which is not the way a normal living organism would work. Of course, govern means to control, so that makes sense. Now, our Department of Education kind of works the same way. We are taught what we're told that we need to be taught. Just imagine if you had an education system that worked like a living organism, where from the time you entered school, you were taught whatever you wanted to learn. How much diversity would be in society? If you're feeding a growing mind constantly that just wants to learn, that's the way a growing organism wants to learn. Is you don't tell it what to learn, you learn. So the example I was thinking of, as far as controlling what controls you, if I decide I want to cut the grass a certain way and make it grow like this, that sucker is going to control me. Can you imagine trying to mow this whole thing? You'd have to mow this thing all day, every day, forever. So if I'm trying to control this, it's going to control me. That's the story behind this slide. Let's go to the next one. So I really like this one picture up here on the top left. I found this one online. Fear does not prevent death, it prevents life. If you're afraid of something, you're afraid of living. That's the bottom line. If I was afraid of making this YouTube video, then, well, I guess I'd still be alive, but I just wouldn't be alive as much. I don't know. Anyway, you get the point. You're afraid of anything, you're not functioning correctly, because you're creating a barrier inside the body. And so that's why it hurts to be afraid. Or if you hate somebody, you're not going to be happy. And the same thing goes with peace, love, joy. All those things connect you to your environment. It'll always make you happier if you're connected. If you're disconnected, you're just not as happy. All the highest suicide rates are in places that are the most divided. Like, I think Wyoming used to be the smallest population in the United States, and Wyoming had the highest suicide rate. And that's why suicide rates are going through the roof right now, because of COVID. Because everybody's separated. They're divided. So I had to change my shirt. I was super sweaty. It's like raining outside. and it's humid. Ugh. Anyway, I use this example. You got yoga, meditation, frequency therapies, all help to quiet the mind so that you can listen with your heart. I couldn't remember what I was supposed to say on this slide, so I'm just going to read directly off my notes. So if all the fields from the microscopic to the limits of the known universe all combine to form just one giant awareness in space-time, then what am I? Scientists tell us that space and time are just illusions, which means that there is only one point, which makes sense if you look at the model of the field. Okay, so let's draw the point. There's a point there. There's a point in the middle of the tree. It's the heart, so let's make a cute little heart here. He's got a heart in the middle of his little thingy. Everything else is just information and energy moving or constantly changing states of awareness. That's true. So no matter how big you make the field, the point is the only thing that's not moving. And there's not any point that doesn't change when you make a bigger field. So the only thing that's in the middle is you. So that's where I am, in the middle. And then everything else is just constantly changing states of awareness. Think about that for a while. So if the whole universe is my body, then I could make it whatever I want, right? Fat, skinny, muscular. We could do anything, basically. I could send my awareness out into the future, maybe, or the past. Who knows? So this is close to the end of the video, and this is when we have to kind of get serious, because if what I've been talking about is all real, which it is, then we're all interconnected, and we can't ignore each other. So that means that we're all at different states of growth, and we all have to accept each other. And if we can do that, and we can learn to nourish our environment by listening to how our heart works, then I think we can do anything. All you have to do is do that, and stop trying to control anything, and try and grow out of fear and hate and all this stuff. And you can do that through exercises, meditations, yoga, all that stuff. Works good. And so if we can do that, then I think we can. I loved this movie growing up, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And I like the part when they go through the hallway and Gene Wilder walks up to the piano and the thing narrows down and everybody's all scrunched up and they're all yelling at each other. And then as soon as he opens the door, they enter the chocolate room. I had to find royalty-free music from online if I want this to go to YouTube. I'm not going to sing Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, there's no way. But I could narrate the pictures. This is a beautiful utopia where everybody's come together and worked as one unit in time and space. I'm so happy. Oh God. So beautiful. Wow. Children helping each other. Everyone helps each other. In a new world. And then we're all free.